Hi, hello, good evening, friends. Welcome one and all to Nifty Banker, India's first retail bank Nifty Traders Conference. Friends, this is your host Ashok Devanampriya. We are currently in the 13th session of Nifty Banker, and today's session is going to be on gamma scalping. Let me introduce Asit, our speaker today, who is a proprietary trader and also a mentor. He has been in the financial markets for close to 13 years. He's an MBA in finance. He is also a CFA. He extensively trades on futures and options. He is one of the most successful traders in our entire community, and he conveys all his updates through his Twitter account. And see, my friend Arvind says you don't have to even introduce Asit. That is true. So there are some people who don't need introduction. Maybe Asit is one of them. Asit, on behalf of the entire audience and the extended Traders Gurukul family, I extend my warm welcome to you into this program. Thank you so much for accepting our invite.
Thank you, Ashok. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just a small correction. I'm not a CFA. I'm a CFA level 2. Did not give the level 3, so cannot be called as a complete CFA. But yes, so that being there, thank you everyone for joining and thinking that I can offer some guidance and whatever little knowledge that I have to share with you all. Thank you for spending some time with us. I'll take about so also, can I start now? Like, is there anything that you want to discuss or talk?
Sir, stage is yours. Please proceed.
Okay, cool, sure. Okay, before I go to the slide, I'll kind of give the background how exactly I look into gamma scalping. And I know all of you are kind of great traders, must be doing something really nice, and I wish you all the very best for the future. Now, coming back to this thing, I used to work for one of the kind of fund houses where they used to manage some book, and it was some kind of experience that I gained for over a few months. That is what I'm going to kind of share. I used to do this when the prop book was quite good, and they used to manage the delta, and they try to make money through the gamma thing. So so what a little that I know from that experience, I'm going to share. Disclaimer: I don't do it anymore because somehow I think both delta and gamma scalping are a little stressful, and if you do not get the things correctly, it can really take out the happiness, you can say. But having said that, yes, if the size of the book is good and you know what you're doing, this is one of the finest way to kind of take less of direction risk and play for gamma. So that would be the background, if I may say. Now, some part of it you might like in terms of the context that we are operating in, but gamma scalping will be one step ahead of delta scalping, where you basically try to chase the delta and try to make money. So let me just take you through a few slides, and I would rather kind of stick into only to gamma scalping. I will also be talking about how gamma actually helps the buying perspective. As most of you know, like I honestly don't do selling. Little bit of whatever theoretical knowledge that I have, I never practice, so I'm not having the confidence, authority, or whatever wisdom to talk about it. So when I talk about delta neutral, yes, there was a point of time I used to do delta neutral thing through gamma scalping, but not anymore. And there are much better people. Santosh sir is there, and so many others are there who are kind of do the strategy and everything. So they are the perfect guys to learn it from. So yeah, so coming back to this thing, let me just take you through a few slides. So the way I'm planning to talk about is that first what is bit of gamma, then how exactly the gamma scalping, the environment, the texture under which it works, and how exactly we can use gamma towards the expiry. That why exactly does it happen and things like that. I think that will be a bit interesting. And if you find it nice, yes, please follow it and read more about it and try to find out how exactly it can be done. If you don't, at least that scalping gamma towards the expiry, why exactly changes comes into the play and things like that, that can be useful. So let me go through it. So the first slide is that I'm talking about a bit of gamma. I know most of you know it, but what I'm looking from the perspective, how exactly I'll be looking into gamma from the perspective, sorry, gamma from the perspective of now, if I'm going kind of now, if I'm changing the delta or I'm taking delta neutral. So right now, first thing what we'll be talking about is delta neutral. But before that, what I would like to talk is that, I know all of you know the definition and everything, but few pointers. As we know, like, gamma is higher order of Greek. You have delta, your theta and vega, and everything revolves around price and volatility, whatever. But this is the only Greek that depends upon your first order Greek that we're talking about, the delta. It tells how exactly another Greek, that is delta, changes rather than telling about how the option value changes. So that is how the gamma comes into the play. Delta changes at the inherent rate that is known as gamma, right? And option gamma is a variable represent that. So basically, as you know, like, no, the price moves from the spot price moves from 1 to 2. Delta is moved, but what is the pace at which the delta is moving? That is going to get kind of compute through gamma. So this we are clear. You'd have the slides. So anyway, I'll just come to the last part of it. I'm not sure how many of you know or maybe knowing it. Gamma is additive for options. So basically, if you're having the same underlying, let's say Bank Nifty, you have, let's say, 30,000 ka call or 29,900 ka put. What are the kind of gamma that will be there for each of the strike for both call and put, that can get added. So that is the first principle that we need to understand. Okay, fine. If we're going for gamma, this gamma for the same instrument in different strike rates can be added. Now, if that can be done, what else? How exactly it can be of help to us? One thing that all of us know, that gamma is kind of maximum for the ATM option and decreases as option moves from ITM to OTM. Correct. Another thing that we need to have in mind, gamma is just the opposite of theta. So a lot of sellers, when they play for theta gain and time decay and everything, they are very concerned about the fact how much gamma can create a damage. So that is something they need to take into account. For buyers, it is always going to be kind of useful, because as a buyer, you're always long gamma. Now, if things go and if your ATM option starts behaving towards expiry, the gamma comes into play, it really enhances the kind of value of the option towards expiry, because of pin risk, because of gamma explosion, whatever you can say. So yeah, during the trading market, the option gamma must expand and the IV of the option must offset the theta decay. So one of the reasons why this gamma scalping is getting done, not only you want to neutralize the delta aspect of it, but also you want to kind of offset the theta with the having both the side of call put let's say gamma coming in your way, that is meant to offset the theta. So these are the few things that we'll be keeping to mind. First, gamma is additive in nature, different strike price, be it call, put, whatever the XYZ, that is fine. Gamma is a maximum at the ATM kind of strike price. It is opposite to theta, inversely related. This is the thing that you need to kind of remember. And as and when whatever the price starts going to ITM and OTM, the gamma will start kind of reducing. So for I think this is fine. So let me go to the second slide. This is just a basic of gamma, and which you obviously are aware of. So first thing first, what we're looking at and how exactly you can look for the opportunities. So there are two things. One is, we all know IV and SV. So if there is any kind of historical kind of volatility in IV ka difference hai, so wahan pe we can do a lot of gamma scalping. That is of lot of use. So but at the same time, let's say if the stock is not having more than say 25 IV, then it will be a little difficult to scalp gamma. So obviously there's lack of momentum and things like that. Just keep a note on this underlined statement: higher the IV, lower the gamma, and higher the theta for the options. So what exactly we'll be looking at? We'll be definitely looking at stocks which are having more than say 25 IV. But at the same time, we do not want to look into too much of IV to be there. This gamma curve of call and put are identical. This I'm again sure all of you know. And so basically what we're looking at right now, how exactly we will be setting up a gamma scalp. And so what we can do, you buy a straddle, long call and long put. Obviously, it becomes your delta neutral. You add stock if the underlying falls, right? And if you short the stock if the underlying rises. So basically, you will kind of keep adjusting the delta. This gamma scalping cannot be operated without adjusting the delta. That is the basic nature of it. Now, before kind of going forward, there are a few things that you need to understand. Key, so okay, there are two kind of traders like us who trade for delta chasing, gamma chasing, and things like that. And there are prop desk and books who are running on a huge capital, and they try to offset any of the kind of delta movement can cause to their portfolio value. So that is where they come from, the gamma scalping. Okay, fine. In case there's something happening, at least we can scalp the gamma. We can make some additional return for it, kind of thing. Yeah. Just give me 1 second. Let me come back to. Okay, I'll tell you how exactly it is getting done. Just pay like 5-10 minutes of time. I think this slide is what it is really about. So what I've done, I'll come to the theory aspect of it in a bit, but I wanted to show the practical example, let's say, and how exactly it is working. So this is the figure that I had taken before the market opened today. So this is of today's, before market open. So if you see what I've taken 14,950 let's say we have taken the call. You can see the underlying how much is the delta, theta, vega, and most importantly what we're looking at is the gamma. So 14,950 is the strike price, right? We see a gamma of let's say 22, and the let's say this delta is 60, correct? Now look at the strike price of 14,850 ka put. Here what will be happening, your delta is delta is 21. Let's put a round figure of 20, and the gamma is 16, correct? Now for one strike price, the delta that we have, so the gamma that we have is 22, and another strike price, the gamma that we have is 16. And what did we learn? We can add the gammas, correct? Now we have 2-3. I would request not to go through it, and let me just take you through. So there are two things. Let's round up this delta to 20, and obviously this is 60. So how much is the difference between the delta and delta of the call and delta of the put? So what you're looking at, 60 by 20. So this we are talking about, let's say one kind of contract of this thing. So 3 is the difference. So if you need to buy, you need to trade 15 puts for every 5 calls, correct? Because obviously put may, how much is the delta? 20. So you need more delta to neutralize the effect of the call ke delta, right? What is the ratio? Ratio is 3. So 15 kind of put you need to trade, and you need to, for every 15 put there should be 5 call. That is how exactly the delta will get neutralized, right? Now 5 calls for every 15 puts, and the position will look like something like this. Let's say if we have 5 calls, how much becoming the delta? If you see the delta here, it is 60, correct? Now 60 into 5, we're talking about 300. Now how much is the gamma? Gamma, if you see here, the first one, this is 22. 22 into 5, we're talking about 110, correct? But for kind of putting the delta to 0, how much of the put we need to have? Put my delta is let's say 20. We're talking about 20 into 15, so 300 ka delta. And put ka delta is negative. So here plus delta 300 minus delta 300, we got kind of square up. So it's basically 0. Now how much of the gamma that we were having? So 22, the gamma for the call, this part, correct? Into how much calls we need to buy? 5. How much it became? 110. How many put we need to buy? 15. So 15 mein delta ke hisab se delta ka aa gaya, but how much is the gamma? We're talking about how much is 16, right? So 16 into 15, 250. So how much is the total gamma now? 350. So this is how you, so what happens? Market goes up, you have to adjust the delta by shorting the call, buying the call, like buying, not shorting the call, buying the call or buying the put. And in that way, your delta has to be 0. So if the call delta goes up, let's say something around, say what, let's say 330, you need to add 2 more put here. So in that way, the put will also become 330. So delta we have to kind of manage so that gamma is becoming your total gamma is 350. So this is one way. But what we have done here, we have kind of gone long into the whole scheme of things. Now, secondly, what you can do, let's say sell 5 calls, just the opposite of it. what we have done here, we have gone long, and now what you're going is going here as short. So 5 call, same thing, delta is minus 300, minus 15 put, delta is 300. Then we have how much? We're talking about gamma, same multiplication 240 and this thing. So this is the addition. Again, we are having 350 minus delta minus gamma, which is we are kind of gaining out of it. Again, if any adjustment that has to be done, it has to be done from the delta aspect. If the delta becomes neutral, you don't have to do any adjustment as such. Now this is one. So this is obviously kind of a reverse gamma scalping, you can say. You're shorting it. Now the third part of it, what you can do, this is where the prop desk comes into the play. So they might not do this 100 share overnight, obviously, but let's say intraday they can do it. So what exactly they're doing? They're trying to gain the delta from the stocks they're owning. So 5 plus, how much is the delta? 300. 10 puts, let's say now 100 shares. Okay, all of you would know this. The delta for options is what? 1. The delta for your, delta for the future is 1. Delta for your cash is what? Again, it is 1. But at the same time, for the gamma, there is nothing called gamma for a share, right? This gamma is obviously option related, and there is another logic why the gamma would never be there. So what we're looking at here right now, so if 100 shares are there and my 5 calls have kind of 300, it is fetching me 300 delta. 10 puts I have. So okay, what will happen? It will come from the number of shares that you have for that particular stock. So this had this been say 150, your delta would have been, let's say 150 now. So you'd have added 5 more. You'd have reduced 5 more. So what we are looking at here right now, how much of delta that is coming from these shares, how much of the delta that is coming from the calls, and finally we're adjusting that with the put, and then again it is getting kind of 0. Now how much